Hey everyone, I'm Vic.
I'm Nick.
And we are NV Board Gaming. And today we're continuing Nick's Top 100 and my Top 50 games of all time. We're coming at you with 20 to 11 for Nick and I. So if you haven't already watched some of our earlier lists, if you're just trying to watch the top 20, well, here you are. Here's top 20 of games for Nick and I.
We have made it to the top 20. Andrew and Sam are doing the same thing, so if you haven't checked out their version of this, go ahead and check their list as well. 20 for me is a game you purchased and you referenced recently. That was one that you gave to me as a gift, and it is Dune Imperium. I am waiting for the expansion of this game. It's going to come very soon here. A great deck building game. Came out just the same time, pretty much as Lost Ruins of Arnak, so that got compared a lot. We got Dune first, then we got Lost Ruins later. Dune, fantastic. We watched it. We actually had a night where we watched the movie with friends and then played the game. Or no, did we do it? Which order did we do it?
We watched the movie first, then we played the game.
Okay. And they had already played the game, so it wasn't anything new to them, but we got to see when that movie came out, so it was like a Dune night. It was really cool. I hadn't watched any Dune, so I wasn't influenced by the theme of the game. I liked it right from the jump. There are criticisms I did have because we did review it, but overall, I liked the way the game played. I liked the deck building part of the game. I liked the keeping the things you decide you're going to keep to go ahead and buy new cards that are going to make the game even more exciting. Triggering off different things. Your cards decide where you can go on the map. And I just loved the game. So Dune Imperium was my number 20.
How did you feel when you were surprised with it for Christmas?
How did I feel?
Yeah,
I was excited to try it. It wasn't a letdown. I didn't know the theme, but I was excited to try it because of the buzz. People were really digging it. I was more excited for that than Beyond the Sun was the other one you got. I was kind of like, I'll have to see about Beyond the Sun because it didn't look good, but it was good. We reviewed it very highly.
Yeah. I was just curious what your initial thought was.
Well, both games, initial thoughts was positive. And both games made our top 100, so.
Yes, great success. All right, 20 for me is a game you would not believe. This game, nobody talks about it. I don't know why. The art is really cool. It's Ganymede. Nick mentioned it, ranking it very high on my list because I just love how it's a puzzle. You're doing it on your own, but there's tension because you're looking at the other person's board. What meeples are they moving from planet to planet? Expansion is really good. Lots of good choices. Randomization that comes up with the different tiles that come out and the different colors. Getting bonuses for the meeple color that you trigger off. Trying to stack those up. Just really fun game. Really enjoy Ganymede.
Yep, that was on our underappreciated games too, and it was also on our list for like the best deals because we got it for like $14, and that's how much it was on Miniature Market. If you see that deal ever come up where it's between $14 and $20, it falls in that range. Yeah, it's awesome. It's a great game. Ganymede's awesome. I don't know. I have no idea why no one talks about it.
Yeah, no one.
Okay, 19 for me is a game that you mentioned last video, and you weren't sure if it was on my top 100. Have you mentioned it yet? No, I haven't. But it's Clans of Caledonia. Clans of Caledonia is a great, fantastic work of art. Dry, yes, but and it is a little punishing too because you have to wait for these things to produce. You're trying to get these things for these contracts that you need to fulfill, but you have to wait for it to produce unless you want to just go ahead and buy it from the market. So if you're really urgent, like, I need the thing right now, I need to complete it, you can go ahead and use your people to buy from the market.
Buy a $15 piece of bread.
Maybe if it's marked up that much, but the market is not static. It's moving around as people buy. Supply and demand. It's an economic game, like you mentioned last video. So if you're into economic games, that has a good portion of it. You're producing all these things as well. Milk is you're doing the dairy. The cheese factory to make cheese because you have milk. So the milk. If you have a cheese factory out there, you can produce cheese from the milk that you earn from your cows, and you can produce wool from your lambs, and you can slaughter the animals if you need meat. And they just disappear off your board and go back to your own board. The main board is a shared board, and you have your own little items on your board that you can put out at a cost. You can put out different workers that produce money. Some of them go to mountains. Some of them go to woods.
Some make you more money than others.
Exactly. And really great strategic economic game, and that is Clans of Caledonia. That one's really high from on Board Game Geek as well. It's a top 100 game, I believe, and it's well into it at last I checked.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I like it a lot. All right, so number 19 for me is Trajan. Nick mentioned this game already in one of the previous videos. I really enjoy the thinkiness of the different colored pegs that you're moving around in a circle, and you're moving the colors, and it's where it ends up and lands. You're going to take that stack, and it's really hard to plan out your actions. The bread looks like cake, so we have a lot of fun getting really hungry looking at the bread picture.
Yeah.
But anyway, the game is fun. It has different modules, areas to go for, different ways to go about winning and getting points for everything that you can possibly think about. So it's nice to play that game with Nick. We've played it never at 4, only at 2, right, Trajan? Only 2.
2, yeah. It's
So
one of
never-
those Euros that sometimes doesn't, we just don't want to bring it out. But we should. We should bring it out.
You should see it.
Yeah, we should. Trade is awesome. All right. We're going to go on to number 18 here. 18 was also mentioned this time by Vic. Vic mentioned it. It was a Kickstarter. Beautiful, beautiful game. Glorious on the board. One of the most beautiful productions I own. It might be number 1. It's Tidal Blades. Tidal Blades on the board, just the way you look at it at the table, it really catches your eye. The art is so well done. The box is beautiful. It's very large and awkward because we have the deluxe one. The components are fantastic because of the deluxe. You could just get the regular retail version, which I can't speak too much about. I think those are just cardboard cutouts for like the fruit and all that.
Oh no, the squishy berries. You need those.
Yeah. The squishy berries are similar to the texture of Everdell. The berries there. So if you like that, that's what you're getting in the deluxe one. The miniatures are fantastic. The gameplay, I love worker placement. I just do. And this one is no different. You're putting out discs. You have a stack of discs that your character stands on, and you leave it every place you go to show what your last action was, and that's the action you're going to take. You also take the action. You take the action that you put it on, and the action of that island. And then if the judge is there, you can get some points on the champion board and do different things there. There's some dice chucking. You got to earn different dice. You can level up your dice to give you better odds at accomplishing different missions on your cards. And yeah, it's a great game. Tidal Blades, a lot of stuff going on, but beautiful game. 18.
All right, number 18 for me is a sleeper pick. You
Again.
would not imagine this in top
Again.
20. Yeah, this is a game that not really many people talk about. It's a very interesting concept. I'm very high on it. It's a game called Heroes Welcome. I really like this game. It's such a cute, I love the art, so adorable. The art is so good. And no one, again, just people don't speak about this game, but the game is interesting because you're breaking down weapons that these heroes have acquired in a dungeon. They get them to you, you break them down, then you basically sell them back to them to go back. You're running this like funny recycling racket. So the theme is quirky. The game is quirky, the art is quirky. And just a lot of fun that you're setting up different shops on this board that everyone can access and go to when you get to put them out. But there's rules of adjacency when you're moving, so you have to plan out your route of how you're moving around. A really fun game.
This hits the spot for Vic, and it was another good deal on Amazon. I got it.
I don't know what it is about that game.
Yeah, you love that
I
game.
love it.
You loved it so much. I think it made it our number 1 underrated game because you ranked it number 1, and I wasn't. I thought, yeah, it's definitely underrated because it wasn't even close on the Board Game Geek, and it's a really good game. All right, we are on to number 17. 17, we did a 4-way review on with Andrew and Sam. I loved the game the most, so it climbed really high. And that is Dinosaur World, the Kickstarter that Vic actually backed. One of Vic's few backs. She's done a few now, but this is the first one she actually got delivered.
Yeah.
And it did not disappoint for me. I actually thought my expectations were middle. I thought it'd be not as good as Dinosaur Island, but for me and me alone, I guess, I don't know. I think that it's better because I loved what the Jeeple tour added. I absolutely adore the way that Jeep moves around. You can trigger those actions. I think that was a must. That was a huge add. Without that, the game isn't nearly as good. So that really put it over the top for me. We did upgrade it on our own as well, and she got the deluxe ones. The coins are so nice, the gear ridges. So it has a nice look. It has big hexes. Table hog, no doubt. No doubt. We play at 4, and our table is full. And we have a big table.
Yeah.
We have a big table here, and it was full when Andrew and Sam joined us, and we played it, and we gave it this 4-way review. Everyone liked it. So this is going to be a 4-way crossover, I believe, as far as, I don't know if it was mentioned on your list yet. I can't remember, but it will be a 4-way crossover, I would think. I would think, but if not, I'll be shocked.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
All right, that's my number 17, Dinosaur World, the newest version.
All right, number 17 for me is Mansions of Madness. Nick mentioned this in the last video. A lot of fun app integration. We enjoy playing cooperative games. It's a new type of game. I really like everything that Nick mentioned about the game in the previous video, but also that you can have these crazy things happen where you go insane or something happens and you don't tell people about it. So suddenly you're just like setting fires everywhere you go. And you don't really, you can't say why, because you want to play true to the game. So you're just doing that, I'm going to light a fire here, and okay. And then that turns out to be the new winning condition. So the game is very dynamic. It's changing a lot, and I have a lot of fun winning games with Nick, but we don't always win. So even those tough losses, when we can set aside that time to play it together, it always makes, for a good time together. So
heck yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're on to number 16. 16 was our very first video on the channel.
Oh.
You know what that is, right?
It's Vindication.
Yeah, Vindication's my 16. It's an awful video. You can check it out. Sure, I'll post it. Boom. It's a bad video. Not to say that our videos still aren't bad, but at least they're a little bit better, more tolerable.
We have a colorful light now.
Yeah, it's pretty useless. It's there. So 16, Vindication. Very interesting game. You're not going to find another game like this. I've never even seen a game even to compare it to, because you're moving around this board and you're revealing tiles as you go. Those tiles are actions that you go on, but you have to be adjacent to the tiles to trigger off a version of the actions that are next to you. You can decide. You get these different cards that are really the crux of the game. Those cards are so good. The monsters you can fight on the cards. You can get relics. You can get all these different artifacts, different characters you can come across in the game that help you do different things. And it's very open worldy. You can go around and do whatever you please. There's so many ways that you can go about this. The game end trigger is going to be different every game. These get revealed as you go on these little landmarks when you get victory points. It says, hey, now we're going to reveal a game end trigger. The new game end trigger. You can get, if somebody gets vindicated, then that's one of the conditions. Maybe then the game's going to end next turn or something. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what you're going for. All you know is you want to get the most points, and then the game's going to tell you, okay, the game's going to end at this spot or right here, and that's something else to shoot for. Because if you're winning, you want to let me push that game end, then let me keep going. Yeah. Or if you're not winning, like let me slow down here, and they just let me not push the game end. Let me do something else.
Yeah.
You can update the speed that you're moving. You can do so many things on the board, and it looks great. So great that we don't even use the minis in this game. There's a box of minis, and they're useless to us. We never use it. All we care about is the gameplay. Those minis are just decor for the box, because we never pull them out even.
Yeah.
They're useless. There's expansions. There's different modules to add. You can pick and choose how you're going to play this game, and it's really fun. Number 16, a very unique game called Vindication.
And there are pets.
Yeah, there are pets as well. And I got an expansion coming too very soon, I think, from Orange Nebula that was kickstarted, actually. Okay.
Good game.
Yes.
All right, so 16.
Yes.
Dinosaur World.
Yeah, it's
Dinosaur
there.
World.
I knew it was close.
Yep.
Yes.
It's there.
Four-way crossover. Not our
dinosaur.
first.
Yeah.
Not our first four-way crossover. You can talk. I'm going to say what the other one was. I'm going to look for it, because I know we have more than one four-way crossover.
Okay. Yeah, so Dinosaur World, like Nick mentioned, we did a 4 review of it. All of us played it. We played it at 2. We played it at 4. My first Kickstarter. So I have some attachment to it in that regard. Backing something, waiting a year to get it. Didn't really have that experience before. Nick is more the one telling me all about the feelings and emotions that come with that kind of thing. But really fun game, like any game that's on this list. But Jeeple Tour, I know what Nick means when he says that. It's a lot of fun to move the Jeep around, make decisions when you're placing that tile about how you're ultimately going to access it. Keeping that worker bank and storage of having workers available and using them in such an interesting way throughout different phases of the game is really something interesting too, because you're going to make decisions at the beginning that are going to affect you throughout all the different rounds that you're doing every time you play it. So, and the game is very different as well. The objectives change up, and you can really sky's the limit with what you want to do in that game. If you're making a dinosaur park, how can you how can you complain? Making dinosaurs with DNA and good stuff.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Crossovers that I know of so far, we have, as far as four-way, all 4 of us, Suburbia, all 4 of us agreed that belongs in the top 100. and I'm pretty sure I don't see how it's even possible. Cascadia is going to be on that a 4-way crossover, and I might be missing something, but those I don't think Sam likes 5 tribes as much as we do. But yeah, okay.
All right.
Carrying on.
15.
15 is a game also that Vic purchased. So you're hitting some home runs when you purchase games. This is a cooperative game. It's a dungeon crawl. It is one of everyone's favorites. I believe it's number 1 on Board Game Geek. It is fairly expensive, but it is the original Gloomhaven. Gloomhaven is one of those games that you set up and you leave it out for a while, if you can. Keep your table occupied so you find a time when you're not going to clear your table. You're going to play Gloomhaven. It's going to stay there.
Yeah.
Because it is a burden to set up, but the app does help tremendously. If you can get the companion app for Gloomhaven, it totally it's a game changer. It definitely risen since then, since we acquired that app, because there wasn't as much upkeep. The app does a lot of it for you.
At first, I didn't like it at all.
Lot of
Having
trackers.
to manage all these hit markers on all these enemies and who's poisoned.
I still liked it.
I didn't actually.
Oh, okay.
With all those stuff, it really turned me off.
Off-putting?
Yeah, for me. But yeah, the app saved
So that
it.
was a must. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
it's a must. Yeah.
Thank God it saved it. Gloomhaven, if you follow the hobby at all, you know it because it's number 1 on Board Game Geek, so you at least come across it. Even people that aren't into the hobby, they've heard of, like my friend Nick, even knew what a Gloomhaven was. And now they have a smaller version you can play in like an Atlas type thing where you can roll it out. Don't have to set up the board. That is Jaws of the Lion, which is very popular. You can even buy it at Target
yeah.
for like $40 sometimes, I think, 40 or 50. And that's pretty regular. That's regular price. I feel like $40 or $50. Jaws of the Lion. If you want to just jump in and not have all that setup. But we have the OG big box Gloomhaven, and we love it. So there it is. That's my number 15. What is your 15?
All right. 15 for me is a game we just played yesterday. It is Maracaibo.
I knew that was coming.
Maracaibo, another game that we like to leave set up because we're playing this Legacy, and it's a lot going on with the cards and stuff. Not a Legacy, I'm sorry. We're playing the story mode, right?
Right.
But
Yeah.
not a Legacy.
Yeah.
But
Campaign.
campaign is the word. So we were playing that. Just really enjoy the game. I like that you have different decisions that come up with the cards that you have. You're going to use them either for the symbols that they have, the resources, towards completing a quest, or towards finishing a story point, something that you're doing there. Or you can choose to buy that character, buy that card, put it out on your tableau, score points for it at the end, maybe have an ongoing ability, put an assistant out, visit that assistant multiple times. The game ends so quick sometimes that you just feel like you're scaling up on things, or you've just got the money finally to buy something, and then the game is over. But a lot of fun. We enjoy playing it. We've only played it we played it 4 actually. We have played it at 4, pretty sure. But we play it a lot when we can. When we leave it out, we'll play multiple games of it, and it's beautiful, really beautiful game, fun game where you can change the duration of the round that you're playing. If somebody just beelines it to the end,
Yeah, you can
suddenly,
move 7 spaces at a time.
yeah, you can. You cover a lot of ground on that boat sometimes, but a lot of fun. Maracaibo.
Yep, that was a pretty good one. Number 14 is Maracaibo. Maracaibo is a game where you can move 7 spaces really fast at the end of the game. The best thing about Maracaibo, I think, is the card play.
Yeah.
And you touched on that. The card play is really, really good because, like Vic said, you can use it for the symbols to accomplish the contracts, or whatever's out there, the quests even, or you can use it for the card's ability. And the card's abilities are very interesting. And when you're drafting those, time after time, you're looking at it, you're discarding, you're deciding which ones you want to keep, which ones can go away, what's more worth it to you. Do you even have the people to go ahead and put the assistant out? Do you have the people to spend for these great cards? Do you have the money that you need for these fantastic cards? Some of them are worth 20, 22 bucks. Some are 25. I saw a 25 one. It's like, and it's tough to get money sometimes. You get it at income. That's the best time to get it. But then you spend it right away. It's like, hey, I finally have money, and it's gone.
Yeah.
So on your basic actions, you feel like, man, that's not enough money, but it works really well. Like one of your basic actions can be just get a coin. Another basic action is discard all your cards and get 2 coins. And your cards, meanwhile, cost like $20 sometimes, $16 for a harbor.
Yeah.
And all these different things. And you're getting these synergy tokens that, produce income with other cards. So other things coincide, they chain together really nicely. It's like, oh, I want this card because it's going to give me an income of 4 VP per round because I have the crown or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So the card play in Maracaibo makes it Alexander Pfister's best game in my opinion. And I love it.
Yeah, it's a good one. All right. So number 14 for me, This is so this game is a mechanism that I generally don't care for. I don't like area control. I don't really like trying to put dudes on a map, keep people on that map, fight people off, stop them, get engaging in combat. Don't generally like those kind of games, but this game does it very, very well. It's Inis. Nick got this game. He traded for it with a friend of his so that we could acquire it. He's always ranked it very high. He can explain better how you play the game than I could, but I know that I enjoy the combat mechanism in this because both players could stand to lose. Like it's a combat. It's very not a pleasant thing for either party to undertake, and I think that that's the best part about it is feeling like you don't get wiped out so easy. You can always come right back on the map, appear again, and conditions of winning, you can sneak up and suddenly you've won with having those little crests, or I guess it's a harp, when you have that harp piece and you're collecting. There's different ways to win the game, and so I like that.
Yeah. It's such good card drafting. It's the best card drafting in any game, in my opinion. The way you draft the cards, and your motive can change, or your plan can change mid draft. It's like, oh, now I got this card. Now this changes everything. And really, and also what's cool about the game is when you're fighting, sometimes you're okay with letting people come in to your territory because you need to be chieftain over a certain amount of people. So you're like, no, I don't want to fight. You're welcome in my area, buddy. You're a win condition. That's all you are.
Yes. So. You can be very tricky in how you accomplish it. So it's not as just like, I got a big army with strong dudes and I'm just going to push them into your area and that's it.
This game does so much with so little. How many cards you get? Oh. All right. Good pick. All right. Number 13 now. Number 13 is my favorite Legacy game I've ever played. We played it with Tim and Alyssa. We had a really great time with it. It's Clank Legacy. Clank Legacy. If there's one Legacy game I'm going to recommend, it is Clank Legacy. Unless you absolutely hated Clank and you played it. And I'm just okay with Clank. It didn't make my top 100 even, but Legacy did. Legacy was tons of fun. A decent price point for how many games you get to play. A lot of hours chewing up. You can compare it to like going to a movie. If you want to play it, because you're going to spend a lot more time and a lot more fun with Clank Legacy. Can't really talk too much about it, but Clank is going down and getting things, escaping. This has a lot more to it. It has almost a semi-cooperative feel at times because you really don't want to screw people over. You kind of want to go ahead and see what the story, how it involves, how it kind of progresses. And if you just try to bail, you're going to miss a lot of the game, and it's not as fun. So it has a little semi-cooperative feel, but you are competing. You're on the same team, but not. So Clank Legacy.
Yeah, it was a really fun one. I like Legacy games, and they don't always appeal to me, but that one, I looked forward to each gaming session we had to continue that one.
Yeah.
So number 13 for me is a game that actually brought Tim and Alyssa into our lives. It is Gugong. Nick was playing this game at a local gaming convention, set it up, taught it to Alyssa and Tim. Alyssa noticed it right away, liked the look of it, and the rest is history. A lot of fun though, the game about exchanging gifts. You have cards, you have to make decisions about exchanging a gift for, you're going to give a higher value for what's out there, but there's certain numbers you're going for. And then you're hoping that you don't put out a card that somebody else is going to snag and that one works out for them. So there's assessments you have to make about what action you're going to go to, how much are you going to pay for that action, like in terms of exchanging things and getting jade. Just a lot of places to go on the board, so I always like those kind of things. And when we played it with Randy and we played like the more deluxe version of it, I really thought that looked really good too.
Yeah, it did. All right, number 12 now. We're moving number 12, and this is crazy because I am copying that exact thought. It is going to be Gugong. So what a boring list. We have just crossed over back to back. We haven't had the same number on any of them, but we're like one number off.
Yeah.
Gugong is awesome. Gugong, I am thoroughly disappointed this has not been mentioned by Andrew and Sam. I loved it.
Yeah.
And I thought we had a great time with them. Yeah. But we only played it once, so maybe it just fell off. I love Gugong. I think it should be on everyone's list. Like, you play it once, it's good. Good. On top 100.
Yeah.
I taught Alyssa and Tim first, and George was there as well. That game, it went over really well. Made great friends, lifelong friends now. And I taught it to Andrew and Sam. Had a great time with them. Taught it to all the people, all the group at Legends of Nirvana. Rob, Randy, Miranda. Talked to all of them. and they also learned the expansion to throw on that, which I felt half of it was good, half of it
Yeah,
wasn't.
me too.
And I didn't use it enough. Randy did. He won. He used a great part of the expansion. And I liked it in the components they had because they did deluxe. So I was happy to play it. Like, oh, wow, look at these cool pieces compared to what we play.
Yeah.
We had upgraded it a little bit, like with the jade and stuff, but not to the extent that the deluxe version with like the wooden pieces, the wooden tokens, it was so nice. And the paint, it was all painted. It was really cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, Gugong is super great. Vic just talked about it. It's another thing that I mentioned already about worker placement. Throwing a little twist on worker placement. Your workers in this game are cards. You're putting cards on, exchanging cards to do the action, and your cards can give you a bonus action at the bottom if the gift isn't good enough, or if it's not good enough. Sometimes it has it's always good enough, but if like the lower numbers. So you're trying to exceed what numbers out there, and those are all gifts. That's the theme. You're bribing politicians. So you're giving them better gifts to do these actions. So the gifts are ranked 1 to 9. And the lower numbers do have a bonus action they can do, but it's harder to get that action out there because now you need the low cards to give a better gift than what they currently have. You got to think about that too. You got to make sure for the new player, because we did this to Rob, and I guess we didn't explain it well enough. He had cards that were just too low to do actions. And I know when you first learned this game, it was a problem for you. Even you had a hand of low cards because you're trying to meet the dice roll that happens in the beginning. And that doesn't work out because now what are you going to do? Well, now you're kind of forfeiting actions here, or you're taking lesser actions that you did not want to take, or you couldn't afford to take.
Yeah.
But if you can think about both those things, Gugong is a fantastic, fantastic, fantastic game. Really deserves its spot, and I'm glad you ranked it so highly. It's my number 12.
Yeah, I love it. It's really good. 12 for me is a game that I actually rank higher than you do relative to Mansions of Madness. It's Eldritch Horror.
Oh, wow.
Eldritch Horror, I rank it a little higher. We played it more. We like to play the electronic version because a lot of the setup is done for us on Tabletop Simulator with a script. It's really helpful because there's a lot that goes into like
setting that game up.
Setting it up, and then trying to put together the characters and the matching items that go with them, with all the expansions that Nick and I have acquired and put into this game. So I like the world map view. I like how we are able to achieve a lot of the missions, and I just enjoy that on the board it says, okay, here you're going to go increase strength. You're going to go here and you're going to increase your stamina. So you don't always have a chance to get that though. You go to that spot and that doesn't mean that's going to happen though every time. Things can go bad. Rolls don't work out well. We're gonna try to mitigate things together, and I just enjoy the approach to the game, that when you lose, your person can go insane, and then you pick up somebody else and you just kind of continue on in the game. I like that as well. I like that you're always changing. The mythos phase comes about and things are getting more complicated. You're going to start having to deal with other items on the map and how you're going to get there. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Good game.
It is a lot of fun. It is a burden to set up, so that's why it felt kind of... And it is a lot of luck, too, at times. A lot of dice rolls. Whenever we lose, I blame the dice. So you the 5s and 6s for successes. But you can boost your things by doing different things. Getting boons. Okay.
And you don't need an app for Eldritch.
No. All right, to number 11. So, last one on this list. What just missed the top 10? Well, this game just missed the top 10, but it is a fantastic game. Vic will be slightly disappointed it didn't make the top 10, but it's Carpe Diem. Carpe Diem is one of the games that Vic champions. If you have not watched this channel, she champions the game of Carpe Diem. A boring looking game, but it's very, very cool. And it really is pretty easy to teach because you're just moving around, taking tiles and fitting them onto your tableau. Sounds easy. Well, now you have things to consider. You have frameworks. You're trying to match these tiles, and you're trying to trigger off these frameworks, which give you points at the end. So it's saying this intersection, you want this type of terrain or whatever building it might be. So that you're going for that. Not only that, you have a forum. So if I put these out here and these give me grapes, what area wants grapes? Does anything want grapes? Nothing wants grapes? Maybe I don't want the vineyards. Maybe I want to go for these fields. These fields give me leaves. This wants leaves over here. If I get those leaves and I have 3 chimneys, I can go over here.
Yeah.
Now I have a totally different plan. But I have the framework still to consider. I don't want to forget anything. And it's very easy to do that.
Yeah.
Like you're tracking a few things, but your action is simple. You move a guy, you take the tile, your turn is done. Awesome game. The way that works is so good, so clean. That's why it's so high on this list.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we can play this game that's so clean but gives so much depth in your decisions. It's my number 11, and it just fell off my top 10, unfortunately. Carpe Diem is fantastic.
Awesome game. Really, really good. Everyone's wondering how high I'm going to rank this game.
Everybody.
Everyone. The whole world.
All three of us.
Yeah. All right. Well, number 11 for me is a game that people are probably going to be upset that this isn't in my top 10. But there's just too many games. There should be less games, and then it
Am I
would be
gonna be
easier.
upset? No.
I don't think you're
Okay,
gonna
I'm
flip the
indifferent.
table. You might be indifferent, but others may go,
Okay.
what? And
Girl.
it's it's Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Okay.
11 for me because there's so many juicy 10s in the top 10, not 10, but
That game didn't make Andrew's top 10. I don't know if he made his top 20.
Woohoo.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
I know a lot
thought
of
he loved
people
the
are
game.
a lot of people are
Like
sweet
love,
on
love,
it.
love.
Yeah. Love. A lot of people really, really love the
Yeah.
game. But for me, 11 is where it sits. Just fun game, meaningful decisions, lots of places to go. Love the quality of the components. It's a pretty game. Not always one way to win the game. You're kind of going different directions in the game. Just ends so quick. But it's also a beauty of the game that it doesn't overstay its welcome. So you have this urgency, a sense of urgency of getting things done, knowing that your turn length is really up to you, and in terms of how many cards you're going to end up playing, how you're going to pair those off in terms of the when you decide to pass. And I really enjoy playing the game. Andrew was the first one to introduce it to us, and we bought it shortly afterwards. Had a lot of fun.
Good pick. A lot of good chaining in that game, especially as later in the game goes. You can chain a lot of things.
Yeah, and Nick goes a lot for the track where you're the technology track. I guess you like to do that one.
I don't like to do that, but that feels the best way to win. It feels like when you have those resources
Yeah.
and it lines up, you do it. That's how I feel about that.
Yeah. I begrudgingly do that spot. I too. I feel like it's
Not as fun.
you have to though. You have to do that. But anyway, enough with the strategies of Lost Ruins of Arnak. But yeah, that's my number 11. We are so excited to bring you our top 10
can't
game
wait.
list. We have been waiting for this for quite some time. We're going to have Andrew and Sam join us for that, so we can all give the top 10 games of all time for us. We own over 400 and something games. We've played way more than that. And Andrew and Sam have a robust library as well. Really hard for us to put together this list, and we hope you enjoy watching it and checking out some of the games we've mentioned. If you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel for more great lists. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.